In the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of change in logistics, and that has brought a lot of companies to bring their manufacturing more closely to home. And Mexico has been a great partnership for the US to do that, because there's a lot of benefits that are tied to that. One of them is the USMCA agreement that promotes trade between US and Mexico. There's very high skilled labor, and there's also opportunity to reduce transit times, which at the end can save time and money. Some of the challenges that a lot of companies can encounter when doing nearshoring are regulatory and compliance. We need to make sure we have everything there to avoid any delay or any stop at the border. We also have security, which is something that a lot of companies share across the border. And we also have some cultural difference, right? We need to make sure you're partnered with someone that understands the local market and has the best practices and expertise, and specific to the high-tech market, trailer requirements.
Well, what we've seen over recent months has been a challenge in component material getting into the factories in Mexico. Much of that material still comes from Asia. A lot of our clients have had challenges getting that material in, so they've been short on the supply side rather than the demand side. So that's been pushing things, to the right on the calendar for a lot of clients. A lot of it is capacity, especially with drivers in the United States. Not a lot of 18 to 21-year-olds want to go drive a truck anymore. It's not a desirable vocation for young people. And in the high-tech space, I think Adriana mentioned, the requirements for the equipment is a little bit different. When you're moving high value and sensitive equipment, the equipment we use or the equipment our carriers use has to pass 17-point inspection before it's allowed on the property to be loaded. There can be no light emitting from the trailer. They actually crawl in, shut the door, and if they see any light, it's rejected. Things like that you don't have if you're shipping tires or printed matter or things like that. So that's across most of the high-tech companies we deal with. Those requirements for the equipment are pretty stringent.
Enhanced visibility is a key part for our customers in transborder and logistics transit time. This will allow our customers to know exactly where their products are at all times, allow also time to act and prevent any unwanted circumstance or threat that may arise along the way. Some of the solutions we've put in place in order to help our customers with visibility at all time is providing that real-time visibility through a Pegasus web portal that we designed, where our customers are able to see exactly where their products are and all the transit times and points that they've touched. Another one is putting GPS devices in every single truck to make sure that everything is well aligned and we all know exactly where it is at all times during the process.
The requirements we see from a security standpoint are pretty consistent across our high-tech clients. Physical security, but also the electronic security that you mentioned. We have one customer that they actually put their own tracking devices in the computer equipment before it's tendered to us. So they're tracking it on their own, as well as we track the trucks ourselves. And one of the requirements for the high-tech guys coming out of Juarez specifically is those trucks are escorted to the bridge. Juarez is not as bad as other parts of the world from a security and a theft standpoint, but it's still there. And you have to take the precautions, be it physical and or electronic, to circumvent that. For one of the clients or one of the manufacturers in Juarez, they go to consistent destinations. They're going to data centers around the United States. And we have to provide route plans in advance for those locations with specified stopping points. And if the geofence for the GPS device goes off of that route, people start getting alerted and emails go off and things like that. So you can find out if a driver had to make an unscheduled stop or whatever. The protocol is that they call in, but if he doesn't do that for whatever reason, somebody at least still knows about it. depending on the product and the nature of the product. What we talked about so far has been new equipment, so there's no data on it. We also do data center relocation services that require sometimes armed escort. If there's data that's either HIPAA protected from medical side or some government agency, they will add additional physical security measures for those transports too.
In order to ensure a safe delivery for the products, we need to first go back to the beginning where we sit with our customers and really understand all the requirements needed. From there, we need to communicate and vet the carriers that are able to meet this process.
White glove is kind of a broad spectrum. Some clients want us to do unload, unpack, place the units where they go in the data center and take the trash away, and that's it. Others, the white glove service can include assembly, cabling, all the way to plugging in. The data center stuff's a little bit more specialized, and we have a network of partners that execute that on our behalf. The main thing to make that work well is understanding and documenting the requirements and making sure the whole team is educated to those requirements before they get there. Our network of white glove providers has been with us a long time, and they're very specialized in what they do, and we have gotten to the point of being repetitive with the crew, and they know the familiarity of the place that they're delivering to. They know the access requirements. They know the protocols for getting in, executing what we have to do, and getting out. We have A and B partners in every major market, sometimes C, because of the volume of business that goes in there. But they're all very, very consistent in understanding the expectations and the requirements. The main reason people would reach to us to do the installation piece as well as the white glove placement would be to give them, a single source for accountability to execute that shipment all the way to conclusion. In the specialization of the high-tech space, and I'm talking specifically around the data center world, the big guys are out there and they offer a variety of things. They're not doing any of that. They are outsourcing it just like we are. And I also feel that a company Pegasus size, with the relationships we've had with these partners over the years, enables us to be way more flexible and react quickly to client need versus some of the behemoth companies out there. They're like turning the battleship.
There are a lot of challenges that we can encounter in logistics, right? So in order to avoid or attack or minimize those challenges, we need to be able to be flexible and act on the moment. And that's only possible by working with a flexible partner that doesn't have a squared solution and is willing to adapt to what you're needing in that moment.
And I'll speak specifically to the Juarez example. There are really 3 bridges you can cross to get from Juarez into the El Paso market. There was a situation a couple of years ago with COVID that the governor of Texas reacted to some pressure from an immigration standpoint and closed the bridges in Texas. The Santa Teresa Bridge goes into New Mexico. So we were able to shift the clearance from the Zaragoza Bridge to Santa Teresa in order to continue to move that freight across the bridge and into the US. You got to have a disaster recovery and a business continuity plan for any of those events, and those things can be regulatory, they could be civil unrest, they could be weather. All of those things we consider in our route decisions, our carrier selection, and in our day-to-day SOPs.
Some of the benefits of bringing a trusted logistics provider is that they're gonna take you along the way, and as challenges may arise, we're gonna help combat that and bring local expertise, previous knowledge, and experience just from what we have seen and helped other customers in the market.
Well, I think as a logistics partner, we want to be in the conversations at the whiteboard level when a client is looking to do something like nearshoring. We would like to be involved in helping them understand the cost impact of building in this location versus this location. You may get a tax benefit here, you may get lower construction costs on this side. that may be offset long-term by transportation increases because you're going farther. There's things of that nature that we would like to be able to help them understand and help them make a logical decision for them in what they're doing, at least an informed decision. If we can help them understand the pros and cons of building a new factory in one location versus another one, I think it goes a long way in the long-term relationship with the customer.